Shamila, good morning, and thanks so much for agreeing to come and tell your story about your struggles as well. Thanks so much for your time. So you've been clean or sober for about 7 years now. What were your experiences, or what are your experiences during lockdown? Are you finding moments of temptation? Are you finding that when you're frustrated or you're stressed or maybe even bored, that your mind kind of wanders back to that dark time?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. It has been a bit of a challenge. Yes, I am. I'm clean for 7 years. And it has been a challenge. There are challenging times, as I suppose everyone else is going through this challenging time. However, we do have a recovery group that we tend to keep connected with. So we try and keep ourselves connected.
What might be the triggers for somebody like yourself who has beaten this a long time ago? And I'm assuming it is an everyday process. You know, it's something that you have to consciously do every day. Let's start with somebody who might have recovered like you are, or been on the road to sobriety for many, many years now. What could have been the dangers or the challenges they would have faced in a time of lockdown and restrictions?
Well, as you mentioned before, boredom. One of the biggest triggers is boredom. But as a recovering addict, we have ways, and because doing the 12-step program, we have ways, we have means, we have like a toolbox, I would like to call it, that we pack up and we practice our 12-step program as we go on further into recovery. So it is, yes, it is a just for today program, and it's not I'm not completely recovered. I will always be in recovery. But like I mentioned, you know, when I got clean, I made new friends, and I made a new circle of friends. Mm-hmm. And having said that circle of friends with my family, keep me, because I'm a mom. So now, of course, with homeschooling, that also helps me learn more from my kids, if I can say.
If you're okay to discuss with us just where you started, how your addiction started, very quickly, so people have an idea of, you know, what certain triggers could be, what started your addiction, and just a little bit about your road to recovery, and just what it was you faced in that time.
I started out with when I was like young and adolescent, like a teenager, with like street drugs, and then of course as I got further into my career, I'm a hairdresser by profession, so you can just understand all the wacky things that come out of that street life in street drugs, and my life did become a little bit a lot chaotic and unmanageable. And at some point or the other, I realized that I needed help. And I went and looked for a 12-step treatment center.
And what goes into that program? I mean, you know, it's obviously lots of highs and lows as well when it comes to recovery. And I just want to link this to those who might have started their path to recovery during lockdown as well. You know, what might have taken them so many steps back. Ordinarily, it is a battle on its own. And in this time, I can't imagine having to sort of try to clean yourself up in a time where you are faced with that lack of human contact as well. And like we spoke about, stress, frustration, maybe being overworked, maybe your boss is hounding you from 9 to 9, or, you know, just dealing with all of that.
I think first and foremost, we must remember that it's a self-help program. So if I want recovery, and you know how badly I actually want recovery, that for one is, do I actually want to get better, or do I want to stay in that deep dark hole? So from there, and then after that, but like I say, it's a just for today program. So, and as you said, it's like, you know, we do a just today and then tomorrow, and you know, it's just for today. So that's what we do. And as far as the like face-to-face meetings, as Alex was saying as well, it is challenging because we do depend a lot on face-to-face meetings. And that's also where we make our new friends and we find our tribe, to say, of our circle of friends. But there are virtual meetings hosted on a Zoom platform where we can have access to still being in touch with the recovery world.
So Alex was also saying that, you know, the chance of relapse might be greater when the dust has settled. Have you seen in this time, and you offer support, you're one of those now who's probably, I think, the equivalent of a sponsor if we were talking about AA to many others. Have you seen many teetering on the brink of going back, or those who actually have gone back and have relapsed in this time?
The irony in actual being a sponsor, I inherited 4 new sponsees in this lockdown. So that just shows for me that the access for the mind-altering substances aren't available as freely as before. So the will and the need and the desire to actually stop and get help is there. And then there are many people like myself that offer our services to the still suffering addict, because that is my primary purpose, to give back what was so freely given to me. So I find it the other way around. I find it, the irony is that now I find I've seen, and on these virtual platforms, I've seen and I've interacted, and I've come across many people that have come and gotten clean in these virtual rooms, and for me that's astounding. I take my hat off.
And Shamila, you know, from what we know about weaning people off and the whole process of getting them off drugs, is that it's not just going cold turkey. That doesn't work for everyone. In fact, it could be dangerous for someone's body when it's so used to getting a particular substance, and then when you don't have it anymore. I mean, we know that people have become gravely ill. It's sometimes been fatal just expecting somebody to go cold turkey. So in this time, I'm just curious about that aspect of things, where people would have been weaned and gone on to a less effective drug in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. How has that process been interrupted by the pandemic and the lockdown, if you know of anybody who's actually been in that position?
Okay, so me, I can only speak for myself because I'm just a recovering addict. I don't have any qualifications on that side of things. From my understanding, it can be dangerous, but yeah, I don't have the qualification to give you an answer on that.
All right. Well, just a last word from you on those who think, oh, you know, of course I have to take a sleeping tablet because I'm so stressed and my mind is working overtime, working from home, or, oh, you know, it's 5 minutes past 12. I'm at home. I don't have much to do. I can have my first drink for the day, or, you know, let me just take a pain medication. I don't have anything else, just to give me that buzz I would have got from my glass of wine, which I can't get my hands on anymore. Just some advice from your part for somebody where it started with taking just what you thought were harmless pills at the time.
So you're asking what I would do as opposed to taking the sleeping tablet?
Or just a caution as to how this could lead to other things and bigger and worse things.
So I'm going to again speak from myself. For myself, when I came into recovery, I was introduced to a more spiritual lifestyle of being a bit more calmer and learning to control my thoughts and learning how to become a productive member of society. And with that, I have learned to, I wouldn't say master, but I have learned to meditate. I've learned different ways and skills when I see that I may be acting out. I have I'm blessed enough to have friends in recovery. I have a sponsor that I can call if I have issues. I can always come back to Houghton House and ask to speak to my counselor again. But at night, to wind down and to relax, I would, there's many things. I mean, I didn't know half of the things that life is actually so beautiful without drugs or without alcohol.
All right, Shamila, thanks so much for sharing your journey with us. And it's not easy going back and reflecting on those times, but take a page out of her book and, yeah, find other ways as well, and know when the time has come to help yourself.